sorry for the confusion. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
I'm good. Can't complain. Thanks for having me.
That's good. That's good. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MES Presents, 9 on the Q, the show that discusses billiards and current events and how the two may intertwine. I'm your host, Tyreek A. Murphy, and today our special guest is education entrepreneur and the leader of Tutor For Toddlers LLC, Miss CEO Nicole Pringle. How you doing today, CEO Pringle?
I love the sound of that. I'm really well. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So before we get started, I gotta ask, how you and your family holding up out here in these COVID streets?
Oh, my family and I are blessed. We are doing really well. Thanks for asking. Yes, these are some difficult times, so it's definitely a blessing. So how are you? How are you and your family?
I'm doing good. Everyone is all right. I mean, these kids are getting big. They won't let me be great. I'm trying to retire this weekend, trying to retire early, but they won't let me be great.
Oh, I understand. I'm trying to retire early, too. Our life, you know, we have to enjoy our lives. So, yeah.
So before we get on cue, tell us about Tutor For Toddlers. How did that get started for you?
Well, Tutor For Toddlers, I started my company 6 years ago, and 6 years ago I was a mom to two toddlers. They are 21 months apart, so I was a busy mom. And also in school with going for my master's degree and teaching. I teach for the Department of Education, New York City.
Right.
So I was, extremely busy. However, I still wanted to start my tutoring company because I love teaching. And my children were my first clients. At the time, Joshua, he was... I believe like 4, and Jacob was 5, going on 6. So, and if, life happens. So I took a break from it and I relaunched my business this year. With COVID and me now having the time, being that I'm working from home, I said, this would be the perfect time to relaunch my business and tutor from home since I was already home anyway. So.
Okay.
And it worked out well. So
Okay. That's great. All right. So now everyone knows who's the face behind Tutor For Toddlers. So in the event that you need your child or yourself, just in case, or yourself, you need to touch up on something because some of that 4th and 5th grade homework is a little, It's been some years.
Yeah.
You know who to reach out. You know who to reach out to.
Yes, and my kids, they also keep me. They being that my oldest is in 6th grade now, so it's good to refresh, my skills and brush up on my skills. Now I'm teaching pre-K, so I love helping them with their homework because it allows me to remember. Oh yeah, I can do this, I look that, and I like to be in there with my kids. Like, see. You need to take advantage of your mom. Your mom is a teacher. Like, don't be afraid to ask me for help. Because sometimes they just, they're good independent boys. But they like, Mommy, I don't, but I'm like, ask your mom whenever you do. So
sometimes I turn into a tutor myself where I have to, give the answers and solve equations over the phone for my son. I'm trying to teach him that please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. But don't be, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For those of you that know what I'm talking about when I say that, so you see how the CEO is smiling right here? She knows what I'm talking about.
Exactly. And we still use those strategies that, we grew up on. We still use them. Common Core changed things a bit, but, we still use those strategies. So you got it.
Yeah, just to let y'all know, I'm very versatile in case y'all didn't know. Yeah, I'm very versatile. So let's get on cue, Nicole.
Okay.
Tell us, when was your first experience into the world of pool?
So my initial experience, I was really young. So my dad and my uncles, they used to play pool a lot. in the basement because they had like a little man cave, when I was really young. But I was formally introduced in college. I went to Brooklyn College, DC,
Okay, all right. We see you out here. We see you.
We here, BC. And so I used to, on my downtime in between classes, I used to hang out in the CSU room or office or whatever. And we used to play pool. Me and my friend Andia, my friend Elizabeth and Pay, we used to just, hang out and play pool. And I didn't really know how to play, but now I think back, like, you know how it is in college. The guys are like, I do. But back then, I didn't think that was a way to, like, for them to try to, how young men are. But I'd say they taught me how to play.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I learned then, but now I'm thinking back like, okay, so now I get it.
So now would you say them or your father and your uncles were your influence into playing pool?
I think my college friends, because I had a better understanding and I really liked it. Like once I learned how to play and I understood the rules,
right.
I enjoyed it, and I got pretty good. I stopped playing for a while, but I think if I play, I could probably still beat you.
Ooh. Oh, okay. So we just gonna jump straight out there. Okay, all right. That's about the second or third time. Actually, maybe the second time. The first time was Representative Joel Jones, who said, he wouldn't mind playing me in the game of pool. Then there was somebody else. But okay, that's how we gonna start this thing off. All right. There's nothing wrong with that. We gonna talk about that.
I was pretty good. To brush up a little bit, but I think I'm pretty good.
Right. Okay. So in today's spectrum, especially regarding diversity and exercising the full scope of the Constitution, Second Amendment right, how essential was it for you to secure your gun license?
Oh, yeah. So, having my gun license was very imperative to me. I live upstate. I'm from Brooklyn, New York City. So I would say it's two reasons. I have two older sisters, and they both are police officers. One of them just retired. And I'm very close with my sisters. I'm the teacher. They're the police officer. So every time we would go out, they would talk that police lingo, and they would have, they would carry their pistols, if we were to go out. And I was always, just the educator. I mean, so I wanted to also bond with them and, go to the gun range with them and learn how to shoot because it's a sport. When I lived in Brooklyn, I didn't consider it as a sport. Like I'm in Brooklyn, and those of you who live in the city, when someone would have a pistol, it would either be illegal or if someone is licensed, to have a pistol, then they would either be a police officer, a correction officer, it would be their profession. So moving upstate, it's common, I should say, common to have your, to be registered and to have your gun license. So, because they have gun shows out here and everything. So that's the first thing is, being able to bond with my sisters and we can go to the gun range together. They can show me how to, how to shoot and also to protect my home. Like that's I'm a new homeowner and I want to protect my children. I want to protect myself should anything happen, so.
Right. So now for those of you who are not aware as to the guidelines of New York, New York has two different guidelines when it comes to getting your gun license. If you live outside of New York City, which is basically everything upstate or everything outside of New York City, the 5 boroughs, you have to turn around and apply for a license to carry out in those areas. Now, to carry a firearm within the city limits, within the 5 boroughs, you have to turn around and apply for another license. So it's 2 different licenses that, us individuals within New York have to apply for in order to carry our firearm.
Very important to know. Because I think, growing up,
Right.
so now I do. So, yeah.
Okay. So now, in your opinion, keeping the theme in regards to firearm going, in your opinion, and based off of, current legislation that's already been established out in Florida, do you think the notion of teachers carrying firearms, or rather I should say, what do you think of the notion, in your opinion, about teachers carrying firearms during school hours?
See, as a educator, I went to school to teach. So I am a professional. I am trained. I am licensed to teach. Although I do have my my license to carry, I think that should be left to the professionals who are skilled and trained to protect. I think that teachers should do their job, and whatever you do outside of school and on your own time, that's your own time. But there are people who are trained and skilled to protect, and this is why they carry, in school, whether they are, school safety. I don't think they get to carry, but police officers in schools, whatever, whoever it is. But I don't think teachers should do that. I think, especially because I also feel educators, we don't have the random check for drugs and alcohol.
Right.
Our profession, we don't get tested for that. But like a police officer and other professionals who are trained to protect, and they have to carry their firearm, they have random drug tests and things like that for that reason. I'm assuming. So I think that educators should do that. No.
Okay. So with the weak U.S. response to COVID-19 regarding education, as an educator, what do you think should be the U.S. goal or mission to effectively teach kids?
That's a very great question. Very great question. I'm only going from my experience. I'm only talking from a place of what I see personally that's going on in the education system.
Right.
We could have done a better job at preparing to reopen schools. And if I tell you the things that are going on in the school right now, from what I know, you will be so disappointed. So I would just say that I think that we should have remote learning we should have been more focused on helping essential workers find an educational site for their children and keep schools closed. I think we should have waited until January to reopen schools. Maybe they could have just focused on continuing to have the rec center. And then once we get this COVID situation under control, then we could have focused on reopening, because I think it was pretty rushed. And there's a lot of things that are not exposed.
Yes.
Happening right now. Mm-hmm. And me talking about it, we could talk about this all day. But I am, as an educator, I'm very disappointed at how the mayor is handling the reopening of public schools. I'm extremely disappointed. There's a lot of things that the public don't know.
Right.
No.
And just to piggyback on what you're saying, I totally concur with you in the fact that, I mean, I even as far as take it another level and say that the whole school year should have just been switched over to remote learning so that you can effectively, clean these schools and give them the proper, ventilation and stuff that they need. I mean, just because a classroom has a window, that's not ventilation. So what CEO Pringle is saying is that, I can turn around and be able to give a little bit more insight and say it because, we can't turn around. We can't mess up that direct deposit every 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
I can't say but so much, but I agree. And I do want to add that I feel like they could have prepared educators better as well. They've been speaking about social emotional learning all summer. All the teachers are being trained on social emotional learning. We didn't get the curriculum until September for social emotional learning. We should have got it during the summer.
And the crazy thing is,
a lot. It's a
and the crazy thing is, what I believe, and quite frankly, the actions show that when we had this outbreak during the spring, going into the summer, instead of individuals preparing like they should have, like their counterparts, the charter schools have, everybody within the DOE, it appears, went on vacation. Or the individuals that was in charge of making sure the plan went on vacation, like everything was going to be, great in September.
We're not even going to speak about the teachers who were infected and they tried to hush that up. What closed the schools?
Yeah, and it was across the board. You had teachers, you had paraprofessionals, you had school service staff, in which my mother is a cook in one of the schools, and one of the schools that's still one of the districts that's still struggling to get things prepared is District 75. Which is basically caters to the children with mental challenge and disabilities. So I definitely can concur with you and understand, it's crazy.
They weren't prepared. And as an educator watching the news and seeing the chancellor and the mayor talking about how they're getting things in order, I was baffled. Like, this is crazy to be, But, I still work for the city, so.
Yeah, absolutely. So, so in that words, moving right along, being that you spoke about social emotional learning.
Yes.
Should there be more entities like your Tutor For Toddlers LLC organization? And will you do your organization offer SEL protocols?
Yes, definitely. I definitely feel that there should definitely be more tutor. I believe that there is, though. I think that teachers now are taking this time and they are, becoming private contractors. They are doing their tutoring companies. I know a few teachers who are doing that. And the reason why we're doing this is because remote learning is new. We were just pushed into this, and due to COVID, of course. And there were so many parents confused, so many students confused, didn't know what was going on. And now that we're still, teaching remotely, we're not allowed to teach throughout the whole day. So, of course, students still need to be educated. Students still need, they still need to learn. So this is where, I know some parents, they allow their child to go to school, whether it's in person or remotely. Let's say they're in school for about 2 hours, 3 hours a day after school, then, I teach them as well. So they have a little break and then they, learn new content as well with me. And I think that's great because, at the end of the day, although we're in a pandemic, this is the 21st century and things are going to change anyway. Right. It's everywhere. Technology is taking over. So Yeah, I think that this is a great opportunity to do so, and I feel like this having a tutor will benefit the parents, and it will also benefit the child, because parents work. You know, parents are stressed out, especially during these times, and they need help. So I'm here to help. I love what I do. And as far as the social emotional piece, I always try to incorporate that towards the end of my lesson. You know, we get the content, we have fun. I like to do different things and play certain videos to go with whatever it is that I'm teaching, the skill. And I always bring it back to, you know, social emotional learning. And this is why when I take a new client, a new scholar, I always ask the parent, you know, what's going on with the child? Like, what do your child like? What are their dislikes? And, you know, how is your child during these times? I like to read to them just because they just need the language and they need to just, you know, enjoy reading. So I just, you know, like to choose books that will teach them a lesson, you know. But yeah, I feel like it's important, especially during these times.
Okay. So with the Black community calling for systematic reform and budget reallocations across the nation, as a Black woman, a mother, an educator, and an entrepreneur, what do you think should be government officials' essential priority?
This topic hits home for me because I am, oh my God, I'm getting a little emotional. I am a Black mom to two boys, and the injustice that's going on right now is very scary. As I'm speaking as a mother right now, Black boys, and I feel like was to hear my son say to me one day, I'm so sorry.
It's all right. It's all right.
I'm just disgusted about what's happening right now. With what's going on with Jacob Blake, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. At one point, when I would pray for my sons, for the Black men in my life. Now I'm praying for myself as well. You know, what's happening, and it's always been happening, right? It's just being reported right now.
It's just being more visualized.
Yes. And it's scary, you know, and I feel like there needs to be more reforms. We need to keep fighting. And as I'm speaking to you, I'm thinking about what my son said to me one day, and I was so shocked because I didn't expect it. But my youngest son, when this has happened, he said this around the time the ugly incident happened, not incident, but the murder of George Floyd. My son said, "Mommy, I don't want to live in America." And it took me back. I was so shocked. And I looked at him and he had fear in his eyes. You know, and it's just terrible. So I would definitely have to say the injustice that's happening right now, that needs to change. And we need to continue this movement. And I'm sorry, but that's just...
It's all right. It's all right. You yeah, it's understandable. Like I said, it's all right. I want you to, you know, answer the question as pure as you possibly can. You know, so you know, we with you on this. You know, you tell the boys Uncle Ty made some purchases, so they don't have to worry. You have backup.
Exactly. Yeah, but yeah, that's a very touchy and a very emotional topic for me, because I believe in 2020 we're still dealing with this.
Right.
So you know, the injustice that's going on, and you know.
So as a bonus question to you, do you think organizations like our Black Party will get the support that they need to help make change in the legislation and or to get, you know, the Black community the equality that we're looking for, rather?
I'm very hopeful. I'm very hopeful, and I'm very proud of our people right now with, with the protests and demanding change. And thank God for social media.
Mm-hmm.
Thank God for social media, because now we are recording what's going on, and it's visual.
Right.
It's out there for everyone to see. Although it desensitizes us a little, but we need to see what's going on. Although we know already, but I appreciate that it's visual and it's out there and it's in their face, and they will deal with it, and there will be. So yeah.
Absolutely. So, as another bonus question, what was your well, first of all, let me ask, did you by any chance get to see any clips or in its entirety the vice presidential debate?
Yes, I did. I was so tired. That's why I have to stay up.
Okay. So now knowing that you've seen that, what is your take on that? Do you feel that Senator Harris was able to, express herself and get off the positive viewpoints that we needed to hear in order to make the conscientious and accurate vote?
I think she did. I think she did great. I think she articulated herself very well. She did not allow Vice President Pence to interrupt her. I feel that she held back a little bit. I felt like because sometimes we don't want, which I don't care, but sometimes we don't want to be labeled angry Black woman. So I think that with that in mind, she didn't really go, wasn't as aggressive as I would like her to be, but I think she did well. I think she answered the questions. I feel like she could have spoke a little bit more about Breonna Taylor as well. But overall, I think she did well. And I think that this debate was much better than
the week before.
Yes. I was like, what is this? This is terrible.
So, and another question I have for you, bonus question, especially when it comes to what you said, that the angry Black woman, Texas Councilman Jonathan Randall, who I interviewed a couple of weeks ago, had tweeted a post saying that behavior or that stereotype, I'm paraphrasing, but it's not his exact quote that I'm paraphrasing, that stereotypical, attitude towards Black women with the angry persona and the constant, being interrupted while she's trying to deliver her portion of the debate is what a majority, if not all, women deal with across the world and in their workplace. Do you agree?
I agree. I agree. I will just say that before I moved and before I transferred schools, I was at a school. I was at a preschool, and at one point I was the only African American teacher there. So when something occurred, like I got into a little disagreement with one of my colleagues, and she said, "Oh, you don't have to be so defensive," and I just that. Mm-hmm. Okay, she's trying to, in other words, say that I'm an angry Black woman, but yeah, it happens a lot. I have friends who work in corporate America, and they told me horror stories about what they experienced and what they went through. Right. And it made my experience feel seem so minor compared to, what I feel like it's worse in corporate America. Right. But yeah, that definitely happens a lot. She didn't come out and say it, but I know she implied it. Right. So that was my experience, but my friends, like I said, they had experiences that I don't know how they can go to work the next day and not want to see about them, you know? So, yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's what we deal with.
Now, when you say friends, are you talking about your corporate friends, or are we talking about your teacher base?
My real friends, my day ones. Some are teachers. I have, I have some good friends who are very. I see her comment right now. She said, "Yes, day ones, they experience."
AKA, if some of you are not able to see the comments, that was probably one of the teacher bays. But that's
oh yeah, my teacher base. Well, like I said, in the education, we don't. Like I said, it's worse. Corporate America is worse. Like we deal with it as well, but we deal with other women. With men, white men is different, totally different. Corporate America. So.
Hello now.
Okay, yes, I hear you.
You hear me now?
Yes, I'm so glad that you're back.
Man, Instagram, if you don't knock it off with us trying to be great.
Oh, my God.
You see how that happened? How they tried to,
Yes, you see, because we was talking that talk. That's
yeah,
why.
you know what I'm saying? It's okay. It's all right. All you need to know is I know how to edit. So we're gonna cut all of that and put that all together.
Yep, Instagram cut that right off. We had, yes, the Lord is busy. Yes.
Yeah. So so what I was saying was, the last question I was asking you before, we had this technical difficulty, was give one of the techniques that you use in tutoring that you can use in Billiards. Or rather, give one technique that you use in tutoring that you would use in Billiards.
That's a great question. You know what? I would say to focus. To stay focused, because sometimes when I tutor remotely, there's a background. They may have, my scholars may have other siblings, and sometimes there are little things going on in the background. They try to stay quiet, but things happen, life happens. And I always try to encourage my scholar to stay focused on the task, stay focused on me, stay focused on what you need to do. And just like pool, you have to stay focused as well, no matter what's going on. Sometimes, your opponent may try to distract you. And I would just say stay focused. That's a really
I'm not even sure if I should even ask you this last question, because the way this thing started off, you already was calling me out. So I'm not even sure if I'm gonna ask you. But for entertainment purposes and to continue with the show, I'm gonna ask you anyway.
Okay.
Name one celebrity or particular icon you would love to play a game of pool against.
Now you know who I love.
Well, I know, but our fans, our audience, they don't know.
Oh gosh! So those who know me know that I love Nas. I just love Nas. I think he is extremely intelligent. He is woke, and he's very handsome. So I'm gonna have to go with Nas. Nas, ding 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 ding.
You hear that, Esco? You hear that?
I hope so. Will somebody tell him, please? I'm tired of leaving comments.
all I'm saying is not only is she clearly an educator, but she know how to play a game of pool, and she got a particular setup on a particular star that she definitely want to run the table on. That's what I'm saying. She want to play him. I understand.
Yes, I love Nas. I just think that he is the total package, and he's very mature, handsome, intelligent. He's the full package. So yes, It was definitely, don't get me started. You know how much I love Nas now.
I know. Now everybody else know.
Yeah.
Now,
knows.
we're gonna take a couple of seconds, because we gotta say R.I.P. to all of those super fans of yours, those potential stalkers that who had their hopes so high with the possibilities. And Nas, you never get it. You'll never get it. That's what we're saying here.
It's my type right there, Nas. Yes, he is definitely my type. So yes, it would definitely be Nas. And I have something to show you that I wanted to show the followers when you asked me about the Second Amendment and me, having my license to carry. I think it's very important for children to know the Bill of Rights, no matter what age. So recommend this book here to your followers and my followers. It's titled I Know My Rights, Bill of Rights, and the author is Hendrick McBride. Really great book. And I got this for my children. So I suggest that, followers, please get this because, we need to know, our scholars need to know their rights.
Absolutely. So tell us, Nicole, is there anything that's going on with you that we should be on the lookout for, that's up and coming? I mean, just talk to us right now. Give us a little information. Give us some contact information. Let the world know.
Well, I have so much in store right now. I don't want to let it all out, but I post a little bit of it. I will have Tutor for Toddlers merchandise for sale really soon. I will have Tutor for Toddlers mugs. Teachers love mugs, by the way. So that would be a great gift for a teacher. Notebooks, Tutor for Toddlers, backpacks, and masks. I'm going to have the whole thing. I will provide it to my scholars, my clients, but I will also have, it available for purchase, whoever would love to buy and support a Black woman, a Black mother, a Black educator.
Absolutely.
And I'm almost booked for the fall. So that's exciting. And I have goals and I'm so excited. I feel so blessed. And sometimes I don't know how I'm doing it. Well, I do know, God, thank you, Lord. But I truly love what I do. I truly love teaching. And it is my passion. It's why I'm here. And So I have some things to start. But I'll tell you about the merchandise. But other stuff, I'm going to keep quiet until,
So basically what she's saying is, everyone, is that it's G95 classified. We could tell you right now, but you saw what just happened to this connection that we had, and everything went missing. You heard me, couldn't see me, or see me, couldn't hear me. Yeah, that's what would happen if we tell you what's going on. You're gonna hold on. Just gonna hold on. It's coming.
Yes, it's definitely coming, and I'm just so grateful, and it's not easy. I'm a single mom of two, and but I'm doing it for the children and for my kids as well. And I'm happy. Like, I really love teaching. So it's a blessing. But yeah, I have a lot of things in store, so.
All right.
And so we have to play a game of pool so I can show you my skills.
You're not saying nothing?
I can beat you. You know that, right?
I don't know if you've been told this, but my Uber game is real strong. Don't think for a split second I won't Uber up to Orange County.
Well, you let me know. I'm not scared.
Okay. Okay, you hear this, right? Everybody see this? You hear this? She talking real strong, right? Okay. All right. As I stroke the band. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a challenge. Yeah.
Okay.
But I feel so honored that you invited me on your show. Thank you so much for having me, and great discussion.
Absolutely, Queen. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this again. I'm trying to catch up with you and CEO Jordan for the toddlers. No, excuse me, the tutors for Tuesdays.
Yeah. So Tutor for Toddlers and MES LLC, another tutor company. My cousin owns it. We have Tutor Talk Tuesday, the first Tuesdays of the month. So please join. We like to give parents strategies that will help your child, some tips, answer questions. Yes, so make sure you definitely join. And follow Tutor for Toddlers on Instagram, also on Facebook, Tutor for Toddlers LLC. And my website, www.tutorfortoddlers.com.
Take your time. We're gonna make sure you get all that information in. Don't rush. We're not under no pressure here. Tell them again.
We don't get cut off again, you know.
No. Tell them again. No, we good. Tell them again.
So again, my company, I am a tutor. I'm an educator. I've been teaching with the DOE for about 14 years, but I've been teaching for about 16 years. And I have a tutor company, and it's Tutor for Toddlers. On Instagram, on Facebook, it's Tutor for Toddlers LLC. And my website is www.tutorfortoddlers.com. I'm a passionate educator. I have 2 boys. My first clients were my sons when they were toddlers. So, and I have things in the works. And soon you'll see me promote my Tutor for Toddlers merchandise.
Okay. All right, everyone. And so, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank our illustrious educational entrepreneur, CEO Nicole Pringle.
That CEO. I could get you on things.
I am not mad at you. Absolutely.
Thank you.
No problem. We're going to talk.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Bye.